You're very welcome back. Now, for those of you glued to Netflix this January, you may have come across the show Tidying Up with Marie Kondo. Mari's KonMari technique for tidying up has inspired millions to declutter their homes.
It is a mouthful. Vera Keohan is Ireland's first KonMari consultant, and she joins us today with all of the top techniques. So good morning to you, Vera. Thanks for joining us.
Hi, how are you doing?
Tell us, first of all, where did you hear about Marie Kondo, and where did you hear about her method?
I found her book in a bookstore and read it, and I had a lot of experience decluttering because I'm a go-to person for a lot of my family. They will ask me to help them in time of need. So every time I went and helped them, a few months later I'd go back and they'd have completely rebounded. So
you actually trained in the States,
I did train in the States, but when I wanted to know the philosophy behind why people gathered clutter, again, having had discarded it. So reading her book, it said a once-in-a-lifetime decluttering. So I said, OK, I have to read more. So I read the book, and then I discovered she was coming to the States, and I signed myself up to attend her course. But to attend a course, I first had to apply the KonMari method to my entire home.
OK. So you practiced what you preached, I suppose, in your own home, and then you went to, like, a seminar, is it?
Yes, I went to the course in New York, met Marie Kondo herself, and a lot of other participants from every walk of life. There was a few guys there. There was teachers, nurses, housewives, everybody, just wanting to know more about the concept.
Well, Anna mentioned that it's a huge Netflix hit at the moment, and I suppose the reason why people are so into decluttering is because they realise the power of decluttering your space, be it work or home, also declutters your mind, and it's quite calming and therapeutic.
It does, indeed, yeah.
I only heard of her, though, since Christmas. Her name suddenly was everywhere, and I watched the first episode of it. I wanted loads of tips, and really what it seems to be is a kind of a story of the couple and their journey. And I keep thinking, I just come back to the tips, tell me how to organise the house. I don't really care about personal stories. Do you know what I mean?
If you want the tips, you need to read the books. And the Spark Joy book really describes it in detail about the method.
Right.
The Netflix series is great because it does inspire a lot of people to do it as well, but it's not exactly how the consultants work.
Yes.
Okay. So, Vera, you're going to show us a few tips now.
I'm going to show you a few tips that I use at home. Yeah.
Right.
So, before we KonMari'd our house, my husband's T-shirt drawer, for instance, was full of black T-shirts, and he likes to ride motorbikes, and he'd often be looking for just his motorbike T-shirts, but he'd pull everything out in looking for them. So part of the concept is to make categories. So we categorised his T-shirts into motorbike T-shirts and left them in a box like this with his motorbike on the front of them. And then they were folded in this method. So I'm going to show you now how to fold them.
OK.
So if it's not motorbikes, it could be like gig T-shirts, music T-shirts,
any category at all.
Okay. But I think everybody loves a good old declutter and a spring clean. The issue is maintaining that cleanliness, and maintaining the fact that everything is spotless and has its place.
As you're folding, you're just basically checking the garment, you're putting energy into it, you're making a rectangle first, and then you're just folding it to the depth of your storage. Now, when I folded this, I put the logo on the back of the T-shirt facing out so that he could actually see which T-shirt it is that he was looking for. This works great for kids as well, because they want their T-shirt with their butterfly or whatever.
And do you do this all the time at home?
I do this all the time.
And it works for you?
I do it, and the kids do it. They love it. Yeah.
Oh, you get the kids involved. I heard Marie Kondo say that in the first episode, and I thought, wow, that's pretty impressive. That you can rope your kids into folding.
They're adult now, so they can do it.
OK.
So the next thing I brought along was a typical office drawer. I think we can all relate to this. This is what we see when we open a drawer at work. Or at home, or anywhere. In a kitchen, there's drawers full of stuff that we don't necessarily need.
Does everybody have a random drawer in their kitchen, by the way, where there's just random stuff?
We call it the mess press.
Yes, mess press.
Throw everything in.
They do, and if you don't know where something goes, you just throw it in there.
It's like a bits and bobs press, isn't it?
So, for any category that you're doing, you literally take everything out of the space, be it a closet or anything. You just move everything out of the space.
That can be quite intimidating.
It can be, and that's it.
And
that's what she does, doesn't she? She gets you to take all of the clothes out of your wardrobe and pile them up on the bed.
It's called the power of the pile. It hits you right here, and you're like, oh my God, I never knew I had so much stuff.
Right. So how should we categorise these bits and pieces?
How to categorise them then is do subcategories. So you put like with like. So basically here we have all these pens that are similar, so we're going to put all them together. And I now find myself collecting boxes. I never collected anything in my life, but now I'm collecting boxes since I started this method, because this is what you use. These are basically chocolate boxes left over from Christmas. This came with something else. And this little thing my sister made for me, and it says Vera sparks joy, and I love it. So I put that in there. And you just start putting things back then as you need. So I'm going to put the keys there.
And after a while of practicing this method, do you automatically go to fold the T-shirts in the correct way to tidy up if you see a desk that's, you know,
you do. After a while then, what the secret of it all is, everything needs to have its place. Everything belongs somewhere. So it has to go back in its place. So you do have to commit yourself a small bit to it. So I'm gathering the paper clips here.
And what would you say, Vera, I'm just playing devil's advocate here, to viewers who are looking at this going, that's all great, but if you don't actually have the space to have everything in different categories, it doesn't work.
People
we'd all love more space, wouldn't we?
Everyone wants more space, but it's not that we need more space, we need less stuff.
Okay.
Any house that I've gone into has actually got rid of chest of drawers, got rid of closets. They have too much stuff. Yeah, so as they're getting into the stuff they need.
So Marie Kondo's mantra would be, if it doesn't spark joy, throw it out. Obviously, I don't have any sentiment attached to a stapler, but with clothes and stuff that perhaps is...
Can you throw the husband out?
I don't know, if he sparks joy, keep him. Well, with regards to that, how does that work? Do you just hang on to each garment and decide, do you love it? Will you ever wear it?
Yes, you literally ask yourself. I've started asking myself about everything. Does it spark... Even when I'm shopping, I become very consumer conscious. Does it spark joy? Do I need it? Can I store it? Where am I going to put it? I don't buy on impulse anymore like I did before.
Oh,
I really want it. It is tough, but it's good.
You have some final tips just with regards to toddler stuff. That's beautifully neat.
So organised, isn't it?
These are items that we'd say are no longer of use. So you have got rid of them then out of the drawer.
So you throw them out.
This is basically just a display of these clothes belong to Faye. She's 2 years old and she's a good friend of mine. And she's a great little folder. No, she didn't fold these.
Faye needs to come to our house.
But I'll just show you literally her little leggings. This is the way they go. It's very simple. You bring it across like that, tuck in the seat, and once and twice. And if Faye was looking for her T-shirt that she wanted to wear, her whatever this little one say, she wanted one with the butterflies, she can see it readily there for her.
So she's not rummaging
and she's not rummaging, and it's just folded using the exact same technique.
So is the idea then to keep this level up the whole time, or to do a once a week? Because I mean, I'm just thinking of my kids now, and if they went into their drawer to get dressed, let's say for their football or their rugby, they'll throw everything out. It's all on the ground.
But if they can see it like this in a category, they're not going to take everything out. They'll take what they want.
That's true.
And normally...
You haven't met her kids.
They're just thrown out to be fold.
Yeah. Actually, kids have responded really well to this method. Kids don't like too much clutter. The average child has 265 toys and plays with 12.
Oh, my God.
So that's a bit of food for thought.
So we just have too much stuff is the biggest lesson,
and all of us are wearing 20% of our wardrobe 80% of the time.
So true.
I would, agree with that.
Yeah.
Vera, thanks so much. It's been a pleasure chatting to you this morning.
Are you free this afternoon?
I've actually been inundated since the Netflix series came. I now have a waiting list. So,
wow.
I'm in big demand.
Well, wishing you continued success, and thanks for sharing your tips with us today.
Absolutely.
Thanks very much.
Thank you, Vera.
Thanks,
now,
Vera.
Up next, more spring styles over on the catwalk. Fashion is coming up after this quick break.